Hi everyone, welcome back to the Jansen Art Studio. Just cleaning my brush here from the last painting. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you just another one of these quick little landscape ones. Kind of like what I did here. Let's take a look at this one on here. What I did on this one here, the seascape. This is about an hour worth of painting on here. It depends on how much detail I put into it. But it's a real quick, it's an optical type of painting. And I really like to do it. I try to stay under 2 hours and stuff because that's what you do if you go out into the plein air situation. So we try to paint these pretty quickly, and I use photo references and different ideas. So I have some photos sitting right back over there that I'm going to look for, and I'm going to show you some fast, fun ways to paint them. Now we're going to use the Paint It Simply colors. These are the Heritage colors, and they're mixed with just a little bit of extender, and then put out here into a little cap, into a little container here. So I just mix it up like this is the yellow oxide color. I mix a little bit of the extender medium into it, put it in here so it gives it a little longer drying time, and I let them thicken up a day or two inside here. So I leave the cap off, stir it a couple of times, and let them kind of thicken up. So I put this extender medium into it that slows down the drying time. Another medium I use in this type of fast painting is what's called a faux finishing medium. This is a gel medium. It's very thick, and it dries slower. So it's a good medium to use for clouds and some types of water effects and everything. And we'll use some of that. All right, let's get into this. First thing we want to do is start to add some of our atmospherics. And I'm going to go towards a blue violet. I'm going to take some phthalo blue and a little bit of my red violet color that I have here. And I'm just going to take out, since I'm going to do a lot of painting today, I'm going to take out a big old dollop of my white and set it down here and kind of just mix those up together and get this light kind of grayed sky color, what I like to have here. And we're going to set that down here, mix that up with some of this color here, and we'll go right along. All I did was I'm coming down about a third of the way here, and I drew a horizon line. And I'll try to keep it somewhat straight here. And we'll put this sky color on. I'm going to be using thick paint. So I'm going to be putting this on thick paint. Now this is an 11 by 14 board. This is an MDF board. And all I did was I made it a light gray color. I took some black and white and a little bit of yellow. Made a light gray, about a value 8 color here. And I put this into the background and dried it. And then I'll put this color on here, and I want to model it, just get some movement. This gives me some atmospherics here into the sky, some color, some whites, and in the skies, the closer you get to the horizon line, because of atmospherics, the lighter the color gets. So I'll take some white down here, and I'll put it. One of the reference photos we're looking at is like this one. You'll see that light color going right there at the end of the sky, right there along that horizon line here. And we'll push that in. And I like to stay very modeled here with that. Now a little bit more blue as we get up to the top, because as you get up towards the top here, you're looking through actually less atmosphere than you are looking down along the, especially this one where I'm doing it kind of looking down. We can see out about, maybe 30, 40 miles, whereas up at the top up here, you only see the atmosphere for about 5 miles or so. So it'll be darker up here, more blue here. I do all lectures on that about light and atmospherics and physics of light, since that's what I studied in college. Finally putting a little bit of it to use in the physics part of it. And here we put just a little bit of our blue up to there for that atmospheric. Now, we can quickly suggest some cloud movements up there. Let's take some white down here, the blue. Let's put a little bit of yellow oxide into that. Nice, warm, like a reflected light color here. I don't want to go pure white, so I'm going to have a little bit of black into this. Knock it down to like a value 9 or so. And let's just come in here and let's just push this in right about in here. Now, this is also where some of your faux medium really works great. So I'll squirt out some of this faux medium. And as you can see there, it's very, very thick here. And I take that and I add this. Now what this does is, this is going to give me thick paint but transparency to it. So I can come in here and you can look immediately, you get that cloudy look to it right away. It's just such a beautiful medium for that. It's wonderful. So I just pull through that like that, and I'll get that wispy little cloud look right there, just like that. I'll pull through a little bit up here, get a bit of that cloudy look right up to the blues there. That's kind of nice. And we can even put it in some of our thicker whites and use that right in here. Look at how that gets that. Isn't that nice? And then get that thinner little cloud and that whisper of that right there as it gets down towards that horizon line there. Just a little bit of cloud movement there. Let it pick up some of that blue. But look at it, just that movement of your brush just gives you some looks to those kinds of clouds quite quickly. And you know, you can add little touches of, like, put some yellow oxide out here like this, and put a little bit of that faux medium into that, and that'll get that transparency so you don't get a heavy amount of that. And you can put, look at that, little whispers of that, just thin little whispers of that yellow hitting along some of that there. Beautiful. And then you can sink that in with just a touch of light color, so you can quickly get a nice little cloud there. That looks great. We can add a little bit darker one up here. Let's put a little faux medium into that blue and gray here. Color from the black and white. Get just a little bit of the light color into that there. Just kind of streak. You can use that as a shadow for this cloud as well. Here, but we won't go too much into that. It's just, this is going to be optics. This type of painting is what I call optic painting. We're going to do it real quick and let the viewers, you know, just suggest some of that stuff, and then the viewer will pick it up from there. So we'll just suggest those clouds there. Now we'll get back a little darker down here. Let's come down, and you want to work kind of fast. I know I'm working kind of fast, and you want to work kind of fast. These are quick color studies. These are, you know, I use these to, you know, help me, you know, refine a look of a painting or so. Let's take some of that gray and that white. Let's put that in here. We want the ocean water that we apply here to be a little bit darker. Here, and here I'll just use the chisel of this. I'm using the fusion brush, the 3/4 inch. I don't like using synthetic brushes. I like the fusion brushes that are softer. Let's take a little bit of light right in that, and we'll just kind of break the edge of that just a touch here, right along that edge, so that'll give us better atmospheric perspective here, distance painting back there. Just breaks that edge a little bit like that. Now we'll pick up some more color. Let's get up some darker blue and violet. Let's get it really dark. Let's go ahead and set our atmospherics here to it. So we'll get this dark color. Let's put a little bit of that faux into that so that slides around a bit. Let's come right up here to the front, and let's get some of that color just blocked in and movement here. We'll get a little bit of that light color, just kind of move that through. But that's going to be where we're going to have the dark front part of this painting that's going to want to advance. And we'll put some light stuff up here in just a bit. But we really want to get some dark tones, a nice blue violet here. Let's get a little bit of that faux medium, put that in. That just is just wonderful into the painting. Just causes that color to slide really nice. Once you paint with faux medium, you usually don't want to go back to color without it, because it just slides so perfect here. Now let's lighten it up a bit. Get a little bit more of that faux. I really like that in there. And let's lighten that up a bit as we go back here. And that faux just gives you it. What it does is it separates the color, so you don't get quite as much blending with it, which is what you don't want. You get more streaky layers with it, which is what you really want when you're painting something like this. And we'll come through like that. And let's soften right along that back edge there. We'll take some of our light right in there, and we'll just pull one or two quick strokes like that through and back down. And we try to do it optically pretty quick. You don't want to have too many streaks here, so you do want to have it back here a little bit softer of line. Let me separate that. I keep picking up that blue there. So we want to have that a little bit smoother right there. So I just run my brush through it a couple of times here, and you can run it at a slight angle there, but then as we come forward, we'll want that to soften here. So we'll pull down and soften, leave a little bit of movement there, just a bit, and then we'll let some more movement and stuff happen as we come further down here. Now, let's set in, we're going to have a mountain back there. Let's gray down our blue, gray and white, black and white, and that blue. Put some faux medium into that. We're going to have like a little hill line back here that I'm going to look at that color. It's going to need a touch more black. I don't want it too blue. I want a little bit of black into that, like a light gray, so it doesn't get lost into the, it's got to have atmospherics. It's got to have that blue in there, and that's the atmospherics. It's got to head towards the blue, and I might go to a slightly smaller brush than my 3/4 there. Let's go to like a fusion number 10, and I use these fusions again because they're so soft, and that's what I want to do. So I want to just lightly touch this and let that just kind of diminish down there like that, giving the atmospherics of a, and I'll go a little further across the horizon with that. Let's go a little further. So let's go a little higher here, and we'll pull down just on some of this. That'll give some different movement interest. Let that light color kind of take over there. Tap a little bit here. Let this, like this edge of this fades away there. Just back there to the back. So at least halfway to maybe almost 2/3 of the way through here. I'm just going to tap that up to the sky. Let's just let that fade away right in there like that. That's good. Right there. Set that back. We'll pick up just a touch more black. You can, add some other colors and stuff to it, but this is the optics of it. So we'll get a little bit darker here as we come up to this way. As we pull down here, we'll pull down slightly. Give a little bit of interest to those mountains, those hills back there, and little touches. Sometimes I use the little corner of the brush and push up just a touch there. That gives a bit of color movement back in there, so it's not completely flat all the way along there. And then I'm going to take a bit of the soft light white with that gray, a little bit of faux medium in that as well here, and push into the brush like this, push that color into that edge like that, and just kind of pull that along here. So pull that out just a bit. That's like the little beaches and stuff there, and it pulls out and push back some of that blue just a bit, put in some gray, and this fusion is nice for that because it puts that color on without digging a hole. So we'll get that color put on like that. As we get a little further along that edge, we can have just the tiniest bit of yellow show up in there. That might be too yellow, but just the tiniest bit of a grayed yellow, maybe a little burnt sienna into that yellow here, a little burnt sienna and blue, grays that down. Not too dark, so a little bit of light. We're up and around a value 7 or so here. Just a little bit of that. Let's push that back with some grays here. That just pushed a little bit of warm color in there as well. And remember, you're just painting optically, so you don't want too much stuff going on. You don't want to get crazy back there. Let's pick up a touch more white right into this gray, and we'll use that kind of long. Get a little heavier right in here. Just tap it just a bit, because you'll see like the edges of little white like wave lines or something right in here. You just tap that along there. That just gets that happening back there. And we'll just chisel just a little bit of that disappearing back here, softly going away. Yeah, going away back there like that. But slowly coming forward and seeing a little bit more there. And that works. That's pretty good. Now in the front here, so that sets up that particular part of it. We can have more going on there in just a little bit. Well, actually, let's do that right now. Let's take a little bit of black and yellow, and let's touch just a bit of that in there. A bit touched. And what I'm doing is just kind of pushing up and creating some color movement, breaking some planes and creating some color movement in there. That just gives a little more movement interest in there. And I know it's really small. You just want to get some color and then let those blues and stuff take over. Now, let's get back up to the front up here. Let's get some of our pine green, some of our burnt sienna here. Nice, dark burnt sienna and pine green, about 1-to-1, kind of modeled together here a bit. And let's just come right up in here. This will be the green area. So I'm going to block in some thick color areas here for just a minute and block in right up to there like that. This is going to come down. This is going to be a tree area here, and it's going to come out and around in there. And I know that looks kind of strange right now. We'll just kind of let that happen for just a second. We'll just kind of put that big block into there. We can push our colors together here, just kind of soften some of those edges out so I don't get too much edge detail there. So I'll just push these down. These are going to be trees. We can push up and down here in just a minute. We'll put trees and stuff in there, but we just want to get rid of that textured edge. Just kind of push up and down just a touch there, like that. And let's grab some of our yellow oxide and some of our burnt sienna. Let's grab some of our white, maybe even put a little bit of that faux medium in that. I love that. Let's get that color out here, and this is what we're going to use for a little beach line that's going to come right back up in here and then around. And we might put a little tree or something back up over here, or we might just leave it open. I kind of like it open as well. And so we'll push that back, maybe out just a little further, make more of a peninsula there. We'll come back in, right like that. We'll just bring these right together here for right now. Just those colors, just real quick strikes of these colors. Let's let these colors come together here. Here, just kind of strike them like that. Here, like that. That's good. There, of course, we'll put more beach and stuff like that in there in just a second. Let's take some white, mix that up. Let's grab some of that faux, drop that in here. And let's come right in here and just, this will quickly put in the colors. Not all the painting of it, but it'll quickly put in the movement of the color that we're going to have here for the beach. And when you're plein air painting or something, this is the kind of thing that you do. You try to quickly capture colors or areas and stuff. And so sometimes I hold my brush like this and I try to quickly capture that particular feeling of something there. And I'm just going to move this through. I've got a lot of painting still left to do here, but just move these colors through like this. And you see that faux medium just slides. It's wonderful. That's where you're going to get some of this nice, lovely movement on your beach colors and stuff like that. So, and we'll let some of that just go right out into our water like this, and then we'll push this edge here. We'll push those edges there, push some in and out. So we'll get some shoreline interest there like that. And push some in and out, lift. I just come back and lift some out. We'll push some into the water here so that color diminishes out into the water. And with that faux medium, this happens so nice. Here, there we go. See that just diminishing back in there like that. That's great. Let's so we might pick up maybe a little bit of a beach or something back up over here. Most of that will be covered up by the trees though, but let's just push a little bit of that color in there just in case, because I'm going to put some trees out onto this little hill area here. We'll push some trees, some colors that will be the trees there when we're done. So I'm just going to block in some greens and bring them forward. That'll bring these colors forward. Nice blocked color, mass of color. I'm not done with the water and stuff in there too. So we'll bring these together for right now. And then I'll come back with water through and everything. And I'm just going to bring that color in. And we'll refine it in just a little bit. Just get some of those colors in there like that. And sometimes strike across, sometimes pull down here. Great way. Let's get some of the darker tones in there too. Let's get a little black and a little green, a little burnt sienna. Let's get a little action of the darker tones and some of this nice thick color. Some dark tones getting through there. Just short movements here like this. Okay, and we'll step back just a bit so you can get all of that into the camera there, so you can see the optics of it there, which is what we want. Now let's get out here and we'll put in a little bit of our lighter water. So we'll come down here with some white and some of our blue, and I got to get out some more faux medium here. We'll push a big old dollop of that right there. This is great medium. It looks white, but it dries absolutely clear. And let's work some of that here. Get a little more blue into that. Let's work some of that right out into here. Let this is going to be painting our water line and stuff here. Our water and our ocean movement here. And you can see already with that faux medium, you get some of that nice movement here. See that lovely movement into that water here. And we can let that just diminish down here into the darker blue. Just run it with your finger like that. So it's lovely transparency. The faux medium was originally developed to do synthetic marbleizing techniques. So you get that depth of marble and stuff with it. And of course, we started using it in painting for other types of techniques as well. And it just works wonderful. So we're going to want to have some shoreline rocks and stuff, some of our browns. Let's get some green and black and burnt sienna right through here. You can add a little bit of red violet to that green. That makes a beautiful brown as well here. And we're going to want to have some rocks and stuff that are going to come in here. And I'm just going to quickly paint them like little samples of them here, little edges of them, little rocky movements here. And that will be right there. And we'll have some maybe rock face here that comes down like that. That gives a, maybe put a little bit of water or something there. Or we might just leave that as a rock face here. But I just want to break up some of this with some of that movement there. And I like it when my acrylics start to get a little sticky as I add that. They're still just a touch wet. But when they start to get a little sticky, that's when that happens really fast. Because you can just lay your brush flat like this and put those on. So I like them to get a little tacky, a little sticky as I paint those areas. Let's put some rocks right down here. We'll let this kind of be a rocky little shore here. And then that picks up to our other colors here. And we'll let some of those rocks, you can just do this and it'll give the feeling when we come in here with that tone. They'll see that tone underneath there. So they'll see the tone into some of this blue, and that'll look like, little rocky areas there as well. So that's how you do it optically here. They pick up the colors. The viewer's eye picks up the colors stuff there. That works pretty good. Maybe we'll put a little cut edge right back here, a little bank, the cut edge, and then so you go at the angle. Your brush and your finger, that the angle that you use here determines, what is that, a bank or a cut edge, or what is that particular area there. And so that is all determined by how you use your finger and your brush at those angles. Let's tap just a little bit of light color there, like that. And I like to just create some strokes of, like, that's just going to be a bit of the dark there, or the edge. And you don't have to be too perfect with it. As a matter of fact, it's great if you just kind of push in those angles and let some of that just happen here. And we'll push in some ideas of little rocks. Just let some of those colors just kind of, kind of stay and stick at the angle at which they're at and stuff. So you don't have to get perfect with them. We'll tap some of this right along the edge of that. Let's put that little angle in there. That's pretty good. And we want to streak back through here. Let's get back into our blues, our light blues in that faux medium. I just cleaned my brush a bit. Light blues in our faux medium. So we want to streak back through here, a little bit of that movement of that sea. We'll go right through that green there. We'll let some of that get a little darker here. So I streak back and forth with the light and the dark here, and that gives some interest to your ocean out there. Some of that nice movement there to your ocean here. Streaking with that light and that dark here. That's pretty good there. Good, great. That sets that one up. And it's a building and a building and a building of color and stuff here. So let's take some of our green and our burnt sienna and black, maybe a touch of red violet. This makes kind of a brownish green. We want to come up here after we streak some of those nice colors into the blues there. Now we could have a bit more. It all depends on how far you're going to push some of that back, but you could have a bit more in there. But let's just show you here. I'm just going to come up here now and start to give the impression of these trees. And the trees, I'm going to use just the corner of this brush here and just push back and forth like a little pine tree here. And I'm just going to quickly state them. So I use just a little corner of the brush here and push up some different heights and different things here. So these little trees there. And I love these coasts. I was raised up along the Oregon coast, and we always had these beautiful trees all the way down to the water that were wonderful. It wasn't like your typical beaches. We had a lot of rocks and stuff, and tremendous amount of fog always and stuff, but they were always a lot of fun. Now I can push in and get rid of some of those edges too, just a touch here and there. You can pull down through it just with your brush, with your hand, just to get rid of some of the heaviness of some of those colors there. And push up with some, just push up and create some movement and stuff in there. You just don't want to create a pattern there. You just don't want a pattern, so you want some of that movement. Now you can also take some of that, put a little yellow oxide with that, create some areas of light color in there. Just a few touches of the light color in there, because that's going to happen into those trees as well. But break up some of those colors. And little mottled darks, little touches of darks. Try to use your brush in different angles here, and a little black, a little burnt sienna here. So that you don't set up a pattern. You just don't want to set up a pattern of darks there. Okay, and let's come right up into underneath that edge there. And just tap and push here and create some movement of our rocks and then other rocks as they get down towards that water's edge there. So I push and then I'll come back with some light color here, a little faux medium into some of that light color. Just tap right along in there and you'll get other, try not to be rhythmic about it. Try to be unpredictable about it as you're painting those and getting and touching those little edges. Try to be a little bit unpredictable about that. Let's go into the midground of the ocean here. We'll have some burnt sienna and some yellow oxide and some whites, kind of an orangey midground sand color here. And so we'll come out through here. That's a beautiful color that comes in the midground of that sand as we build this sand up here. And sometimes I put light color down to it. It all depends on the beach. And then sometimes I put this real light color that I have here down on that. And it goes darker, sometimes dark. Depends on the beach. Sometimes it goes darker to lighter. On this one reference photo I'm looking at, it goes darker towards the back and lighter. But sometimes it's reverse. It's light up onto the beach and dark up into the front. So sometimes it's just the reverse. Let's darken that down just a bit and pull a little bit of that beachy color here. Right out like that there. Maybe a touch or so here. Right up by that edge. Here. Just paint the optics of it. Put a little bit of that light here. Just little touch. I push into the edge of the brush and we'll just give it a little touch there. And a little touch trying to capture that rocky kind of edge there with some of those lights and little bits of sand and stuff coming in between it and everything. And so you really kind of model in some thick paint and then start to, I love this faux medium in it. It just makes this painting so easy. And we'll just drag along like this. We'll pull that down into the water a bit. That'll give us our disappearing shallows of the water here. Out like that. That'll give us the optics of this pulling away here. Back like this. They're fun little paintings. Here, fun to do. Just like that. Just drag that out. Put that faux medium in that. And get some light color into that. Just drag that through like that. Then just use your finger and just kind of smear it back and forth. Let that smearing kind of smeary look there go into that, because that is what will give it the feeling of the transparent water when you're up there with that. And it's that faux medium that does that. It's awesome. There we go. We'll push some of that in there. That little edge out like that. Just lots of faux medium. Just drag that out like that. And that just gives that movement. And so to that water. Nice look. Here. Grab a little more light. Let's just streak a little more light up into this area as it's coming up here to us. And streak that through. Let some of that just, I like to kind of like scumble the brush here so I get some unpredictable edges here through like that. Those unpredictable edges give you a nice beach color there. Stuff going on your beach. You can have a little bit more light. Let's get some faux medium, a little more white into that yellow. We can have some areas of a little more light right in here and just drag that back and forth. Here, like that. That'll be great when we put this water on there. Now, on the one that I'm referencing, there's also like a little island type thing out there, and we might put that in there. I'm not too sure yet. We might put a little. Matter of fact, let's just do that. Let's just push a little bit of a island right here, edge of something. Right in here, we'll let some water come right around it as well. Here. So we'll push that back like that. We'll let some of that darkness go in here like it's a shadow into the water here. That'll give us some, and we'll give it some color, some broken edges here. Like this is the light struck plane. We'll take a little bit, you have a light struck plane, you have the three planes of a rock, the shadow plane, and then the mid plane, or the receding plane is what we call it. So we have a light struck plane that creates part of the rock there like that. Then the shadow plane, which is away from the light on the opposite side. And then between the two you have a mid plane, which is a mid value that you put in that is called a receding plane. It's a plane that's going away from you. And we talk a lot about that in the landscapes class. We're going to do a lot about that. But so we'll put a little rock in there and maybe a few touches of those guys coming right up here as they're coming around again. Maybe a few just ideas of them going in and out. A little bit of our beach color there through the water, so you see a bit of it. We might see just a bit of that beach color right here by our rock here. Maybe you see just a bit of it there. But all this is going to be, water and stuff in through there. That looks pretty good. But we might want to have a few more like little rocks here. Just tap your dark brush there like that. Okay. And let's get let's do some of the fun stuff. Let's take our blue and our white and a little different blue now. We'll get a little bit more, not quite as much violet into it. We'll use just the phthalo blue, white, and some of the faux medium in with that here. And we'll use this. Let's come right up over here. We'll start to push in some of that light color there, right against that edge. Then I'll come back and pick up some dark and pull right back through it again. Right through there. So I'm going to go back and forth with some light and some dark like this, creating some more. And it's a little bit brighter. It's just a bit brighter of a color here. And we'll want some of that to come in like this. We'll have some of that come right around the edge of that rock there. Some of it come right over that rock. Right in like that. There's some of our water. So this is some of your water effects. We'll maybe push a little bit back through here. Like this is a wave. Kind of come here where it's a huge wave. We've got to small that down. So I'll push that in. And then I'm going to put some of the blue and faux medium back into my brush here and paint into it to take some of it out. So I wipe my brush and I'll lift some of it out here. Take some of that movement down. Here. There we go. Take some of that wave out and leave just a little bit of that wave motion there. And let's put another little rocky area right out here. Maybe there's one right there. That'll allow me to get some interest right out there as well. There's a little wave interest. Let's put a little rocky area. Let's add some of that light to this rock as well. There, like that. That's pretty good. And that allows me to, I got to get more faux out here. Kind of use that up there. Here we go. If you do a lot of these and paint a lot of these, you're going to want that 8-ounce bottle of faux because it's just wonderful. It really actually is great because it lets you use less paint too to get some of those transparencies. So let's just model that with some of this white that's right in here. And come right along the edge of that here. just kind of set that up there like that. I'll set that white that's hitting that the edge of those rocks there, and then we'll drag some of that in here like that. Get some of that white water effect coming in to our shoreline here. You can see you get that beautiful movement of it. There we go. And right in there like that. We can soften down. Now you can wipe your brush, put a little bit of the blue. Let's get some faux in that too. Clean this up. Just a little bit of the blue and the faux here in that. And just take out some. Just take out some of that movement here like that. Back and forth and soften out. Take a little bit of it out here and there. And that will create the look of your waves and your movement here. You can have a little darker, some of it should be a little bit darker, like some edges a bit darker, so it's not all just that light color. So some of this you can push a little darker in some areas. That calms it down a bit here. Oh, there we go. We'll pump it up just a bit here and let some of that hit along the shoreline here. Just drag some of that right like that out. Let it hit that shoreline here. Just like that. Just kind of let that happen kind of naturally right in there. Then you can take some of it out with that blue. But the biggest thing is just trying to just let it happen. Just let it happen. Get lots of faux so you get that transparency in there. Drag that right up there like that. Maybe splash a little bit here and there. Right up there like that. Okay. Take a little dark. Take some of it out. Let you see some of those browns and those yellows we had earlier there. See some of that. Look for anything that's a straight line. Like there's a little bit of a straight line here. So I'm going to take some of that out. There like that. And it works great. Let's take just a bit of that right out here like that. Right up by those trees. We'll take some of it out. So I have just a bit of the line. That movement of that. But I like that to come up around that edge. So it doesn't just stop in a line at that. You're going to pick up some of the white movement from the other side there. Around like that for just a bit. As it's going around that edge, that point. And you might pick up a little bit of it over here. And this is what gives you great visual depth. If you put some right over here, it looks like it's this little point. It's just rounding this little point there. And you got those nice little tree edges and stuff there. That's what gets really nice. You see a little bit of that. Little bits of those splashes and stuff there. And little bits of the line. Little bits of that faux is just perfect for that. I'm so glad I started using that because it just makes this stuff just wonderful. There we go. A little bit of movement right there. Now let's continue on here. And we have lots of little, I used the corner of the brush. You can also use like your knife, your palette knife. I use my palette knife sometimes for these little bits of light and edges of the rocks and stuff here. Pull down in some different things for some receding planes here. These edges of these rocks and stuff here. And so, you just hit those light colors, and I usually hit too much and then I take out. So I'll hit a little bit too much edge, then I'll put some dark in and take out a little bit. Make sure you pull that little receding plane too. So you have a light, a dark, and a receding color on there. There we go. Little edges there. Little bits of rock. Might pick up another little rock or something right here. Maybe there's just a little bit of it there. That kind of stuff is really nice because it kind of really, you know, you've got the ocean, and that's what happens in the ocean. You get all these little, sometimes you have just big ones, and then sometimes you have little rocks that are just kind of everywhere out there, kind of hitting. And as we get up here, let's take a little more faux and some white and some blue kind of. And this is where also where, let me show you this because I haven't shown you, where you can take your palette knife like this with that faux. The knife works well too. It's another wonderful, but get a lot of faux into that. The knife and some of that light color like that. And grab that onto the edge of your knife and push that down like this, and your knife will give you a lovely casual expression of those waves as well. And you can you know, just kind of drag along like that at that kind of the angle of that wave and push those edges in like that, and it looks wonderful there. And you can pull back if you want to curl a wave a little bit. You can pull back and or rock the brush like this, which will give you some churning movements and stuff. That works great. We can push some light color here and just kind of churn up those rocks there. Pull that through, get some movement there, some splashes through. That looks great. Grab some of this light here. Mix it up with that faux so you get some transparency, because the white can get very opaque and take out what you're trying to paint, so you got to be careful. Especially the heritage, it's opaque, so that faux is really perfect for that. And just gives you that translucency to it, to your waves there. Let's just pull this back like that and get that kind of foamy water that you get right there. And sometimes in the wave line, you get all that foamy water that's happening. Let's just drag some of that like that, and that gives that foamy water. Take some out, back and forth. There, like that. That's pretty good. There, we'll push that back and forth. Sometimes I'll just use my finger to get some of that movement in there. Gives you a nice optics there to that. Lovely. And we can take some of our sand. Let's get some of that burnt sienna and that greens and those yellows here. Take some of our nice sand color, maybe a bit of blue in it. So you have kind of like the sand and the water together. And you can use that to take out just a bit, and then that'll give more transparency to your water here. So take out just a bit of that with that color, and then that makes your water more transparent. So take a little bit of your water out with that color. There. Let that come into some of those blues there, and you get that lovely transparency. Lovely transparency to your water. That's wonderful. So now let's get back up into here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to a little smaller number 6 brush here for those trees. I want to get a little bit higher on some, and I don't want to be quite as precise. So, but I want to do a little tapping and stuff there. I don't want it to be precise, but you know, when you look at a photo like this one here, you see those trees that come up against the sky, and you see them quite clearly. And I don't want to get too much of that, but I do need that for some depth here, depth of field. So just going to play here for a minute and see what it takes to get some of that in here. Down like this into those trees, and down, just using the corner of the brush here, pushing those trees up like that, the corner of the brush here. Let some of them come back down. You know, give some different edges there. And some of that just fade. Some of those you see clear. And again, this is just an optical thing, so we don't need to do too much because they step back. They're going to see trees. That's the beautiful part about the optics like this. And when you do that, you just want to have, you don't want to have perfect edges. You want your edges to be kind of diminished, kind of falling away here. So we want some edges just kind of here. Just some ideas of some stuff. We don't want to, like we might want some ideas of lights right in here, like maybe that's a little bit of rocks or something right there. We don't know. Could be a little bush, a little bit of green there. Let's get our ultramarine, our yellow oxide with some of these colors. Let's model it all together here. All these colors we've been using. Let's use a knife. I'll show you the knife here. And let's get some faux medium into this. Let's get some greens. Don't overmix it to one color. We want to model it together here. Just like that. And we'll kind of imagine this and just kind of pull down this edge, this cut bank here just a bit like this. That'll put that color on. And then we'll pull flat at the bottom here. Okay, so there goes the color for that cut bank. And then we'll pull flat at the bottom. We'll take a little bit of black into some of that color with some green. And just kind of paint up over the edge like this is the edge of trees and stuff coming over the edge. So it's an undefined edge. That's what we want. You don't want the viewer spending too much time over onto this area and the edges. We want them right in here. And I've already grabbed them right into that area there. So I feel pretty good about that. And we can get them a little bit more by giving a little bit more dark colored interest and brown interest right in there, like rock interest and stuff. Here. Sometimes I see that and I was like, oh, okay, let's add just a touch more. So you don't want to make it, like too much going on, but it's kind of fun to get some of that stuff going on there. Like that. Little things going on. And then let's get some of these browns and pull some of these. Don't paint too long with, because we're just kind of modeling some colors in here, so don't paint too long with one color. Move the color out here. Grab some faux medium. Let's grab some yellow. Grab a little bit of our white here. Model that all up in your brush and get that intermediate color in there. Just drag that right along. A little bit of touches of some darks and some greens in there. Grab some more light. Some more faux here. Grab that. You can see that coloring there. Here coming in. So you get this beautiful kind of beachy color here. Some color coming around here. What's going on up here? I don't know. It's just color. That's all we need. Just something to kind of close us off over here. And you want some good, powerful, lights and strokes here. So we want some powerful strokes here. Sometimes up and down. Sometimes, that takes an up and down stroke, even though you soften it out there, takes your eye further back into the painting here. So get some little bit of blue into that. Just get some of these colors. See some of these colors there happening right up in there. Some other colors going on, and I build and build and build color. This is where it's all the interest is. So it's got to build and build and build that color. We might extend this. Let's build out a little just for interest here. Let's kind of build this area out just a bit here. That would be kind of fun and interesting. You got to be careful that you don't, do stuff too much. But this got a little black into some of that color and a little up and down. That's how you're just going to build that impression of that. Up and down like that. And that makes a cut bank there. Let's grab a little bit of burnt sienna into that. There. Let's grab some of that light sand color up into the edges of that. There. There we go. Some of that coming down. And build up a little more light yellow-green coming down here on this edge. Some of that coming back there like that. So it gives kind of an edge there. And let's put just a touch of that. So you see that color back over here. Maybe they pick that out there. A bit of that. A bit of that there. Maybe like a little cut bank. Pull up and down for the little cut edges there. And yeah, it works. A little bit of our burnt sienna there. That's kind of neat. Let's get back up our light beach color and streak through that one more time. Some of our whites. Let's get a little blue into that. Model all that color together there. Some faux medium into that. Just streak right up through some of that soft and some of that. One more time, little movements there. Bring that color in. I got a little bit of a light spot there that I want to get rid of. But it's a building of the color and a building and a building and a building of the color here. And put some yellow back in there. There we go. Now it optically pulls everything forward here. And right out into the water. There. It's kind of cool. Sometimes that water is just indicated by wet sand, which is darker. So we'll just take a little bit of blue in our... Sometimes that goes right into that water is right up into that wet sand there like that, which is a little darker. And we'll get a little faux medium here, a little bluer. That's nice. There we go. And let's put just a bit more of our light sand right by the edge there of that. And then we'll hit that edge of that water. You could use your knife. A knife would probably be nice. Let's take our white and our blue here. Come over kind of a clean area there. Get a lot of faux medium in it. Faux medium is great. And let's just drop that in. There we go. Let that just kind of diminish there like that. That's perfect. So you see a little bit of it right in there. Oh, I'm liking that. I think this is a nice capture, optically capture some of this painting here. Get some of that nice little look and depth to it there. I could put a bit more of a definite shadow side to this hill here as it comes in there. That's all stuff that you know, if you're going to paint the light a little bit more, light's coming in this way here, so we could have a little bit more of a definite shadow side that builds onto this side here. And we have a light struck plane, and you know, and then how much you're going to do, you know, how much light you put into here, into some of these trees and stuff, that's all up to you. They don't really need that much. I like to keep them basically onto the dark side there like that and see that. So let's push this off to the side here. 1 second. And let you come in here and see just the painting a little bit more like that. So we've got a nice optical there into the back. I think those clouds would be nice and soft. Look, you know, they really jumped out at the beginning, and then look at how much softer they are now. And, you know, I might, you know, I kind of like to look back at my optics here, and maybe I want to take a a bit. Let's get this, I'm just going to use my small brush here in my blues and my white. And let's grab some faux medium there. Here. And right along the edge of that. Here. Let's just put a little bit more, that slight smaller movement back there, just to break that edge a bit more, and break that light edge there, just a touch more optically there for the background. Right on that edge, and see, that just gives you so much more depth and stuff to your scene. Just pushing that back just a little bit. That's what you got to watch. That's what I want you to finally look at. And you see, if I make it a little darker, I bring it a little farther forward. So it's going to be, you know, back and forth here until you see just how much you want to bring that up and forward. And that's how you do it. That's how you get the optical difference there and the optical perspective. And it's a fun little painting to do, to see some of that. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time painting with you. You could put more darks up into the front, do more things, you know, but we're trying to keep this painting very short and just capture some colors. Use that faux medium. It's a lot of fun. And I'll see you on some of the other little quick landscapes. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.